Hey everybody! Today's little module is going to be on the pronunciation of the sequence. This week, I really want you to own this sequence. So I'm not going to really hit you hard with a lot of lecture on video this week. What I do want you to do is to practice the sequence in its entirety, right? Because the next time we see each other, we're going to do the sequence, and I expect you to know more of the sequence than you did the last time we met. Alright? So let's start. Surya Namaskar A. Repeat. Surya Namaskar A. Good. So within Surya Namaskar A, we have Urdhva. Repeat. Urdhva Hastasana. Urdhva Hastasana. Upward hands. Then we fold forward into Uttan Asana. Repeat. Uttan Asana, or forward fold. Then we come up into Ardha Uttan Asana. Ardha Uttan Asana. Then we jump back into Chaturanga. Chaturanga. Then we come up into Urdhva Mukha Svansana. Urdhva Mukha Svansana, or upward facing dog. Then we come into downward facing dog, which is Adho Mukha Svansana. Adho Mukha Svansana. Repeat when you can. So we repeat that sequence 5 times, right? We repeat Surya A 5 times. After Surya A, we do Surya B. The same sequence, except we add a couple of asana. We start Surya B with Utkatasana. Repeat. Utkatasana, or fierce posture. We fold forward into Uttan Asana. Uttan Asana. Up into Ardha Uttan Asana. Ardha Uttan Asana. We jump back on the exhale for Chaturanga. Chaturanga. We come up on the inhale for Urdhva Mukha Svansana, upward facing dog. Back into downward facing dog on that exhale. Adho Mukha Svansana. Then we bring the right foot forward, opening out the left foot for Virabhadrasana 1. Repeat. Virabhadrasana 1, or Warrior 1. We fold forward again on the exhale. We repeat the vinyasa. From that downward dog, we're coming from the left foot into Warrior 1. Virabhadrasana 1. We fold forward again from that Warrior 1 into your vinyasa. From that downward dog, we're going to jump to the front of the mat and end that Surya B just like you started it in Utkatasana. Utkatasana. Good. Right? So you do that 5 times. So we've already done 10 sun salutations. So we're warming up the body, purifying the body, getting the body hot and ready to go. Alright? After those 10 sun salutations, we stay at the front of the mat. We're going to place our hands to our hips. Either you jump or you step out to the right, or you open out your feet hip width. and we start the forward folding. The first forward fold we do is Pada Angustasana. Repeat. Pada Angustasana, or big toe forward fold. Hold it for 5 breaths. Then we come up on the inhale. Then we're going to fold forward again on an exhale, grabbing or placing the hands underneath the feet for Padahastasana. Repeat. Padahastasana. Pada, feet. Hasta, hands. So I'm placing my hands underneath my feet in that posture. It's a forward fold. There are 2 standing forward folds. We hold them both for 5 breaths. Okay? We come to the front of the mat. Again, as we lift up from that Padahastasana, we're going to open up to the right to start a triangle series. The first triangle we do is Uttita Trikonasana. Uttita Trikonasana. Extended triangle. We do right and left. Then we come back to the right side and revolve the triangle for Parivrita Uttita Trikonasana. Parivrita Uttita Trikonasana. Revolved, extended triangle. Right? So we do right and we do left. When we finish with that, we stay open to the right side because we're going to do 2 side angles. The prep for this is Virabhadrasana 2 or Warrior 2. Right? So, Uttita Parsvo Konasana. Repeat that. Uttita Parsvo Konasana. Extended side angle. We do it right and we do it left. We come back to the center and we're going to revolve this posture. Now remember that I modify it a little bit more for you as I let you pivot to the right side and kneel on the left knee, placing your hands at your heart center in the revolve, inhaling, exhaling, twisting. So we start Parivrita Uttita Parsvo Konasana in a kneeling position. Parivrita Uttita Parsvo Konasana. Revolved, extended, side angle. We do it to the right and we do it to the left. Okay? So we come up. We come back to that center point where your feet are separated. From here, you keep your feet separated and we do the Prasarita Padottasana series. We do A, B, C, and D. Repeat that again. Prasarita Padottasana, or separate leg stretch. So we're doing 4 variations of it. When we finish, we're going to bring the right foot back to the front of the mat, come into Tadasana or Samastiti. Then we will begin a balancing sequence. Okay? We start this sequence with Parsvo Tanasana. Parsvo Tanasana. Intense side stretch or pyramid stretch. Right? We always start with the right foot. So I'm going to start with the right foot going back. And I'm going to place my hands in reverse namaskar in between my shoulder blades and fold forward. I repeat that right side and left side. Then I release that and I come back to the front of the mat. Both feet at the front of the mat, coming back to my home or my foundation, Tadasana or Samastiti. After Parsvottasana comes Uttita, Hasta, Pada Angustasana. Let's say that again. Uttita, Hasta Pada Angustasana. This is our big toe extension posture. Alright? So we do that to the right and to the left. Please think about the modifications in each of these postures. After Utthita Hasta Pada Angustasana, we do Ardha Baddha Padmottasana, or you can do Virkasana tree. Say that again. Ardha Baddha Padmottasana, half bound standing lotus posture. Or you can do the modification Virkasana tree. We do that to the right and to the left. We come back into Tadasana. Releasing, finding our breath. Coming into Utkatasana for 5 breaths. Utkatasana, 5 breaths. After we do Utkatasana, you're going to fold forward into a Vinyasa. From that downward dog, bringing the right foot forward for Virabhadrasana 1. You hold it for 5 breaths. We're going to open up to Virabhadrasana 2. You're still on the right side. Hold that for 5 breaths. When you're done with the 5th breath, you're going to take that left arm forward and you're going to windmill it to the mat and you're going to do a Vinyasa. When you come into the downward dog, you're going to bring your left foot forward into Virabhadrasana 1. 5 breaths. Virabhadrasana 1. You're going to open up to Virabhadrasana 2. Bringing the right arm to the front of the mat after that 5th breath for Vinyasa. Now, from this downward dog, we're going to lift up from the belly, Uddiyana Bandha, and we're going to jump into a seated posture into the middle of our mats to begin the primary sequence. The primary sequence begins with Dandasana. Dandasana, staff posture. Now, let's talk about what's in between all of these seated postures. In between these seated postures comes a Vinyasa. You have the option to do the Vinyasa, or you have the option to do a cat-cow, Navasana, whatever it is that the person can do. It becomes more intense, of course, if we keep on doing Vinyasas in between each of the seated postures. So, the first posture is Dandasana. Repeat that. Dandasana. Dandasana is a very important posture to remember because it is the foundation of all seated postures. Right? It is engaging all 3 bandhas, Jalarandha Hara, Uddiyana Bandha, and Mula Bandha. Dandasana, Vinyasa, or option. Then we have Paschimottasana. Repeat that. Paschimottasana is a forward fold. It's west stretch. Vinyasa. Then we have the counter postures for a forward fold, which is Pursvottasana. Pursvottasana. Reverse plank. Then we have Vinyasa. Then we have Janu Shriyasana. Head to knee posture. Janu Shriyasana. Now, since Janu Shriyasana we have to do right and left side, you have the option to do right and left and then a Vinyasa, or right side Vinyasa, left side Vinyasa. It's up to you. After head to knee posture or Janu Shriyasana and those Vinyasas, we come into Marichasana A. Repeat that. Marichasana A. We have a Vinyasa in between that, or right and left. Then we have Marichasana C, which is a twisting posture. Then you could have 1 Vinyasa or you can have 2, your choice. After Marichasana, we stay in that downward dog from the Vinyasa. We're going to jump into Navasana, And you repeat that sequence 5 times. So it's Vinyasa Navasana, or boat posture. Vinyasa Navasana, Vinyasa Navasana, Vinyasa Navasana, Vinyasa Navasana. Hold that Navasana. Now, if the person can't do that, we're going to modify that. Think about those modifications, and I want you to hear about those modifications the next time I see you. After that vinyasa, those navasanas 5 times, that sequence of 5, we're just going to bring the feet down onto the mat, bringing the soles of the feet together to come into Baddha Konasana. Baddha Konasana. Half bound cobbler's pose, or half bound angle pose, right? We call it cobbler's pose, and I've told you a little bit about that, why it's called cobbler's pose. We hold it for 5 breaths, right? Now, you have a choice to do a vinyasa after Baddha Konasana, or we can just lie back onto the mat to begin the back bending sequence. Now, this back bending sequence comes in 3s. Now, you can choose to do 3 supported bridges, 3 half bridges, or 3 full wheels. Now, the name for a half bridge, we'll call it Setu Bandhasana. Repeat that. Setu Bandhasana. Setu Bandhasana. Good. So you always remember that those back bend comes in 3s. When we're finished with the back bending sequence, just let them lie on the ground with their knees up. We are going to start this kind of an inversion sequence. Now, the contraindications for inversions are, as you know, pregnancy, menstruation, glaucoma, or high blood pressure. If there's any, and especially if it's a shoulder stand, if they have anything going on with their cervical spine or their shoulders, they're not coming up into shoulder stand. We're going to begin the shoulder standing sequence. I like to teach people Viparita Karani, all limbs up, right? You could do it on the floor, or you could place their legs on the wall. Now, that's a nice and safe inversion, but still, for someone with glaucoma, we don't want their legs over their head. If they do have a shoulder stand practice, this is where the shoulder stand comes in. Shoulder stand. Sarvangasana. Say it again. Sarvangasana. Shoulder stand, excuse me. Shoulder stand. If they're very comfortable in their shoulder stand or Sarvangasana, they can come into Halasana, bringing the toes over the head for plow posture. Say it with me. Halasana. If you look into your glossary, you'll see that Hala means plow. Halasana, or plow posture. From plow posture, they can come into deaf man's pose, or Karna Pidasana. Say it again. Karna Pidasana. Karna means ear, so we're placing pressure against the ears with our knees. When we hold these postures, especially a shoulder stand, we should hold these postures for 10 to 15 breaths. Coming out of that posture, bringing the knees onto the forehead and slowly lowering the body back down onto the mat. Take a couple of seconds to breathe and connect before you come into Matsyasana. Say it. Matsyasana. Fish posture. It's a beautiful opening of the Jalandhara Bandha, right? The throat chakra that you kept closed in that shoulder stand. After fish, they have an option. They could release the fish and go into Savasana if they don't have an inversion practice. Or if they're not doing inversions that day, they could just go into a Savasana. But for those or your students that do have an inversion practice and are practicing inversions that day, you would bring them up into a vinyasa and then commence to teach them, or let them do Shirshasana, headstand, Say that again. Shirshasana, headstand. They could do it against the wall. They could do it in the middle of the floor. I've been teaching you tripod. If they have a handstand practice, elbow stand practice, that's fine. And this place, in this part of the sequence. We should hold these inversions for 20 to 35 breaths, if that's possible. After your inversion, we want to come down into a balasana. Repeat. Balasana, or child's pose. We want to stay there for a couple, more than 10 breaths. We want them to really bring it back down to the center, to connect, to let their bodies come back up from being upside down. After balasana, we're going to sit them up and bring them into sukhasana. Say that with me. Sukhasana, or easy seated posture. Connecting with their breath, feeling all that space that they've created, letting them be ready for the most important posture of their practice. Savasana. Repeat that. Savasana, or corpse posture. As we lie them back on the mat and connecting them to their space. Having had such an awesome practice with you. So, go over these vocabulary words. When I see you on Thursday, I hope that this has made some sense to you and that you're able to connect it with the practice. Have a wonderful week, and I can't wait to see you again. Namaste.